And shifting focus to more news coming in, Guwahati Hakora has stayed the WFI elections. The Guwahari Hakora has put a stay order on the Wrestling Federation of India election, which was, remember, scheduled to take place on the 11th of July. Now, remember, earlier it was the IOA ad hoc panel that had rescheduled the WFI elections to the 11th of July. And this, of course, after state bodies presented their cases in a hearing. But in the latest, upon the intervention of the Guwahati High Court, we're learning that the court has put a stay order on the WFI election, which was scheduled for the 11th of July. So when these elections will take place now remains to be seen. In the meanwhile, remember, the man against whom these wrestlers are fighting this battle, remember, he's been charge-sheeted already, and in the latest, the wrestlers have also come out to say, after the Delhi police filed charge sheet against Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh for alleged sexual harassment, they have been saying their fight against him continues. They're waiting for the charge sheet copy to decide their next move. But in the meanwhile, we now see a development come in on part of the Guwahati High Court that has put a stay order on the WFI elections. They were to take place on 11th of July. Nibir joining us with more details. What else do we know about this development, Nibir?
Yes, indeed, the Guwahati High Court has today put a stay order on the Wrestling Federation of India elections that were to be held on July 11, and this comes after on a plea by the Assam Wrestling Association. They're scheduled for July 11. The Guwahati High Court has put a stay order, and IOA ad hoc panel earlier on Wednesday had rescheduled the WFI elections as per reports to July 11 after 5 disaffiliated state bodies sought voting rights for the polls. And as such, that the case was presented, and it was presented in a hearing. And today, on Sunday, the High Court has put a stay order on the WFI elections scheduled for July 11.
All right. It's very interesting how this is all playing out, because earlier, remember, the elections were Nibir to take place in the first week of July. Thereafter, they were rescheduled for the 11th of July. Do we know anything on when the elections may finally take place?
Yes, there has been earlier also dates that were scheduled where the elections were scheduled to be held. However, there is no clarity as to when the elections will be held. However, the July 11 date that was scheduled has now been put a stay order by the Guwahati High Court on a plea by the Assam Wrestling Association. And also, if you see that the IOA ad hoc panel on Wednesday, which talked about rescheduling the WFI elections, came about then, following which this hearing has happened. However, we don't know as of a clear date as to when the rescheduled elections will be held on this very particular matter.
All right. Thank you for that, Nibir. We continue to track more on that. We'll come back to you as and when we have more details on when elections perhaps could take place. But